All right, I am back streaming live on this Azure Functions project to provide notifications when our PowerShell Live users come online to outlets such as Twitter, Discord, and Slack, and whatever else we figure out in the future. Um, this is part 21, which is crazy. That's a lot of parts. But where I left off yesterday was that I had completed my CI/CD pipeline for the complete stack, so infrastructure and code all being deployed. Um, Hi, Joel. Um, so the work that remains is to test the application now that it's deployed, make sure that it's running okay, and that it's doing what we expect it to, that all the pieces are in place. It's a whole two people watching live. That's fantastic. I actually don't keep a counter up of how many people are watching, so I depend completely on messages in the chat to let me know that there's a ooh, Glenn. It's like complete opposite time of the day there, right? Anyways. Yeah, so I don't I'm being invaded by Aussies. This is fantastic. But yeah, no, I don't keep a count up because it would be depressing to see it at zero so often. But uh, the chats in the chat room are comforting. So yeah, what I need to do is actually run some tests to make sure this code is doing what I expect it to. It's there, the application is running, the underlying infrastructure is there. Everything looks good as far as I can tell. So I do need to do some tests to make sure that that's actually up and running. And if I was doing things properly, I would have tests in the CI/CD pipeline as well to do some validation after we deploy that everything's up and running. So I'm going to enable the stream, a log stream on the application. It's just going to take some time to get up here, but while I've got that kind of loading, I've got my hub secret ready to go because I'm going to have to pass that in. Or I could like just ignore my F8 request. It's probably busy. So I'll open up some of these files that I need to do. Um, so I'm going to start with some subscription callbacks against the API. Um, so these should like return some stuff, but the hub challenge is not important, I don't think. Yeah, it's not. It's just whatever. That doesn't have to be encrypted or anything, so all I gotta do is get the right URL for that, which should be in my configs here. Yeah, part 21. I have live streamed just about every single part of this application from its genesis to now, with the exception being some parts where I'm entering secrets. So I figured at some point when somebody wants to build an Azure Functions app to integrate with APIs, REST-based APIs, this might be a decent series of videos to go through and see all the things that you shouldn't do. Um, if you can stand watching 30 hours of me typoing all the time. So I need to get the URL for this, and it should just be test Twitch stream notifications. Let's get this. Yeah, so Firefox fixed this yesterday, so it should be viewing properly, although I need to zoom in just a little bit. So yeah, I just need to grab the URL from this. Go back here to VS Code and update this. Webhook ingestion, Marky Kraus. All right. So in theory, that should be all I need to do to test this. Let me see if I can do log streaming now on here. Not this one. Yes, it is actually this one. This one. Start streaming logs. So hopefully we can see some output here. Oh, that's bad. What happened here? Enable TLS is not recognized as name of a command line. Well, it should auto import. Okay. Oh, interesting. Am I on... What happened to my better TLS? Just gonna install better TLS real quick. Let's try. What happened? Well, that's really sad. Anyways, I'll just do this the good old-fashioned way then. What is that? I have a... is it uninstall module? Is this going to ask me for like 400 different things? This is my module that I've published on the on the gallery, so I hope it works. It was working fine before, but perhaps I have that is really bad. Restart. I did dev it in core. It should be well, no, this one should be Windows PowerShell because it doesn't matter on core. Oh, come on. This is going to be painful. All right. I basically need to enable TLS to 1.2. Yeah, the reason why that's slow, it's called the Pacific Ocean. I'm pretty sure that's why it's all right. I should know this. Should know this off the top of my head, but I'm gonna just be lazy and Whose blog is this? Cody Hosterman. Shame on you. Shame on you. Should not set this to equals. Every blog that recommends this equals makes me sad. I'm going to do it anyways because I'm lazy and I don't care to fix it right now. The remote server returned 404 not found. Well, that's not good. Change this back to the log stream. Okay, nothing there. Is this like 3 of these now? It's like, yeah, I think it's like 3 of these now. That's what's wrong. Okay. Output. Log stream is being extremely helpful as per usual. This is 404. This is the right path. It's saying 404. What happens if I change this to this? I get 404 on that one too. My bad. Okay. It's not working on the other one too, so my URLs are different. What do I get for params? Get a massive URI. That looks right. But I'm getting 404s on it. So let me look at the application code right quick. I never updated this example script after I messed with the URLs on this. So let's go into, why am I source? Yeah, functions, Twitch webhook ingestion, and let me look at the route. Yeah, stream name, Twitter name, Discord name. I should be right. Post and get should be supported. But it's not working for either one, which is cute. Let's just try it again because, you know, that's what insanity is all about. 404. Let me see in Firefox, Twitch stream, webhook ingestion. Maybe this has some information about the URL, because that would be awesome. Try the, oh, it's missing API. Huh, that's cute. How now, brown cow? Still, 500. Well, okay, that's better. Not what I want, but it's better. Well, that's not good, though. I didn't get actually any error messages. at all here. Let's try this again. Like remote server returned 500 internal server error. So nothing on the log stream. It's always super helpful. So that's always good. Let's go back to the function itself and see if I've got any thing in the app insights. For failures. '21 format exception. Error indexing method. So settings must be a form name equal value. Well, that's weird. I haven't changed the code at all from what's in production. Let's see. Function indexer. Microsoft Azure. External code. Interesting. Ah. So not like system exception format. Operation started, and that fails. Well, that's not extremely helpful. Saying that Discord event handler has some kind of a format exception. Settings must be of the form name equal value. What does that even mean? Okay. Let's see. What other all date. Cloud storage account. Twitch subscription run. I'm wondering if the key vault doesn't have if the service principal doesn't have access to the key vault, and that's why that's failing. So go to the key vault here and access policies. Should be secret, select principal, test Twitch, test Twitch, stream, oh come on, just copy and paste this. Yep, select key permissions. This does not need anything other than get and list. Definitely doesn't need set. Okay. I think that was already like that, but not exactly sure. All right, let's try restarting the app. See if that makes that go away. KV here, here, and stop and start. Now we go back to VS Code. So I'm getting some startup information. Let's try 500 internal server error still. But at least I've got some information here. Ooh, look at all this good stuff here. That's a wall of fail. It's the fail wall. It could be broken infrastructure. So the code is the exact same as what's running in the production one. The difference is that in the production one, the key vault is in the same resource group, and I manually added all the permissions to it. So this is, since it's using key vault references for the versions, I'm pretty sure that why the settings of name value are what's being thrown up here. It's not being able to properly get the settings that it's relying on. Yeah, it's pretty much every single one of these is failing for the same thing. Storage account provider get. Ooh. Queues, triggers. Yeah. Ooh, this is crazy stuff. This is cloud storage account, parsing info settings. Are the app settings missing on this? Is that why? They should definitely be there. But it look like they're there. Like, Twitch, there should be like Twitch storage. I missing one? I believe I am. I believe I'm missing a very important setting. Let me look at this code here. Come up, Twitch stream storage, then go into config, Azure deploy, Control F, Control V. That's set there. Is it on the page though? Oh yeah, I remember that I had to actually copy the key over into it. It won't let me reference a storage key as a thing there. Okay. I had to do that on the production side too. So we can fix that in the infrastructure as code by having that reference the same storage. So I already have code in here for getting the key. So I just need to oops, wrap that up in double quotes, save this right here. Commit this. Yes, commit anyways. Push. Switch over to Firefox here. Oh no, that's not gonna work. No, it should work. It's fine. I forgot. On here to pipelines, builds, infrastructure as code. I need to queue because it's not going to automatically fire. Although I should add a, while I'm thinking about that, there should be a trigger for that, or a filter, so that when config is updated, and then exclude config subscriptions.json, I think is what it's called. So I want this to not run when I update the yeah, it's subscriptions.json. I want it to not run when that one's there, but I do want it to run when anything else in config is updated. Save and queue. No, it's not the URL. It's the actual app itself is failing to initialize, and it's doing so because it can't figure out the storage situation. And the way that I have it, I'll show this in the code so I can better explain why this is failing. Let's get into the function of Twitch subscription registration, Twitch webhook ingestion. So they all use this Twitch stream storage account, which is it's a app setting that it pulls in, and in the config, I originally had that to pull a secret out of the key vault um, on demand, but I remember now in production when I tried to do that, it was failing to start up for similar reasons. Um, Different error messages, but similar situation. So I ended up putting the storage key directly into the app setting instead of trying to reference it out of the key vault. So build completed. After rigorous review, I'm okay to ship this code. So this part is the Azure deployment, and then we should have the queue and table deployment, and then it should be the app deployment. Because otherwise I'm going to have to sit here and figure out what else is different in the environments. So far as I can tell, that's it. Otherwise it'd be a permissions issue on the key vault. Alright, so the queue and table deployment is done too. Now it's the app deployment section. Yeah, that deployment passed. So everything's working, right? Like, yeah, well, let's see. Found the following functions. Change detected. Host change. Whatever, information. Well, doesn't look like a sea of errors. So that's somewhat encouraging, but let's run a call to one of the functions here. Oh, I actually got a response, so that fixed it. Well, at least this piece. So, note on the reference for key vaults. Let's bring this back over here. So this is undocumented that, at least that I saw, but it is a preview feature to do the key vault references. And apparently it is not supported if you try to do a storage key as referenced inside of a key vault. It needs to be directly stored in the app setting. So that's unfortunate. But yeah, it worked. So it executed. This is the information that gets part of the logger inside the function. So that piece worked. Let's see if I can trigger off a fake notification. So this is registering subscriptions. I don't want to do that. That's too much work. Invoke Twitch registration, example subscription callbacks, example usage. Yeah, here we go. All right, so I'm going to make sure I've got hub secret in, and then from here set secret to hub secret. Real quick. And then run this, and this should do a fake request. Of course, I need to update this with some an extra URL piece. I should probably update these examples. Unable to connect remote server. I also need to set the URL from what we were using here. So I got a response back, 200 OK, but I should almost always get a 200 OK. And it looks like it is actually going out and doing the stuff. It should say, yeah, notifications are disabled, exiting, so that's good. But that means that the queues are working, everything's going through, so at least as a proof of concept wise, I'm satisfied that the entire and deploying the entire stack is working. So what I need to do for a production switch is that I need to basically break the current app. So I hope no one else is planning to stream for a little bit here, because I'm about to break all the stuff. How much time do I have? Okay, I've got time. I'm confident that if I screw things up too badly, I can fix it in a few hours. it takes a long time to move that. All right, so while that's thinking about its life and contemplating all the wonders of the universe, um, I'm going to come in here and make the changes that we need to actually make this all good. So I should only have to change things in parameters. So we want to call this function Twitch stream notifications. We still want it in West US2. The Vault resource group name should be, let me make sure it's actually not. It's Twitch stream notify KV. And this one is Twitch stream notify KV. They should be the same name. Yeah, so they're the same name. From what I can tell. I'm doing a lot of switching back and forth between Firefox and VS Code, and I don't feel like keeping up with it on the channel, so you can watch the code for a second. Yeah, Twitch stream notify KV. All right, so those are good. So that will give us the right settings that we need for all of that. What else? Storage is fine. Subscriptions is not touched. Azure deploy should have the right way to reference everything. It should be based off of the things that I pass in. The queues will get created when I launch it. So what's going to happen with this is that when I actually deploy it, the existing resource group is going to get somewhat overwritten. The storage account in there that it uses for the backend is going to get blown away. A new storage account is going to get created because it's going to have the new naming scheme. I believe that the app service plan will get blown away too and replaced. So it's going to be a pretty destructive operation. The one thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure that the key vault was moved out of there before I did any kind of pushing around. So that's the move completed. So I think we're good there. I'm going to do a new commit here for prep for master. Commit anyways. It's just complaining that I've got like live changes in some open files. So we go into Firefox. We're going to be doing some kung fu in here. So did I put need to see if I put any policies on the branches. Pretty sure I did put I put a policy on master. Let me see what it says. I don't think my build changes. My build's the same. Nope, nope, I do have new build steps. So before I do any merging or anything like that, I need to update my existing build um, definition. So edit, and I'm going to open up the other one side by side. I could just switch these around, which is tempting. You know, I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna switch these around. Nah. Yeah, so on here, I'm gonna edit this one. I'm gonna set its triggers to not do any integration. Save it. Go to the branches, branch policy, and I have it doing a change on source, which I technically didn't change anything in source, so it's not going to get fired off anyways, but I'm going to go ahead and edit this, change this from build to build IAC. Build IAC, edit, turn around the triggers on this. I wonder if we'll bring them all. Ah, I lost all of them. Anyways, we'll change this back to master. Add path filters. If there's a change to source, if there's a change to config, and exclude if there's a change to config subscriptions JSON. All right, so that will trigger builds automatically for master when changes are made to source and config, but not when subscriptions are done. So we'll save this one. Now we need to update the related release definition on it. Update this one. I'm going to turn off the continuous integration on the old one. Then on the new one, I'm going to edit it, and the continuous integration triggers I have on this were based off of the IAC branch. We're going to change that to master. We also need to do that on here because I'm paranoid and I like to have it in two places. Change this one to master. All right, save. All right, so my build and releases are kind of set up so that the new IAC build and release task will run from master, and the old ones are disabled. So with that in mind, I should be able to go back to the repo, go into the infrastructures code, do a pull request to master, just review all the massive amounts of changes. I did do some serious updates to the VS Code settings file. Storage deploy JSON is new. Storage deploy PS1 rather is new. We know that that's working. Azure deploy JSON. We saw that that's working as we want. Parameters JSON's been updated. We're going to really hope that this works the way we want it to. And storage JSON is good. So we're cool to start merging into this and watch the world blow up. But I'm going to do some due diligence here and do a proper title and description on the pull request. So we've got a okay description and title for there, so we'll go ahead and create. There's no build for this one because no changes were made to source. So we prove. Complete. And we are, I'm tempted to squash merge these, but I'm going to let all of those interesting failures stay in the history. Why not? So this should be kicking off this build. So this is the production resource group. Oh crud. I need to really fast go into release, edit release, go in here. This needs to go to this one. And then this one also needs to go into Twitch stream notifications. It's very important that I deploy these to the right resource groups. And this, folks, is why I always have an approval gate on my releases. All of this should be right. All of this should be right. And then this one should be right. Okay. Go back to the build. Is this the right? Yeah. Releases. I'm not 100% sure if that made it before the changes, so I'm going to not approve this one. Reject it. Go back here and create a manual deployment from the latest. That way I'm sure that it's got the correct configuration. Sure, why not? We're only about to blow away the production site. Like, it's not important. All right, let's go. Oh, checking if the group. So that is the original um, resource group. So it's created the new storage already, um, and it's created the new plan. This failed. At least one resource. The resource was not found. Well, that's really helpful. What resource was not found? Okay. Um, so it created the new storage account. It created that. I'm going to go ahead and just delete everything out of here. It's the cloud. It's what we do. We just blow everything away and start over again. Okay, so I've gotten rid of all of those. It didn't work as a replacement, and I figured that might be one uh, thing, so we're going to try deploying again. Um, you never know. Sometimes you can get away with deploying over something that's already there. Sometimes you have to just wipe everything and start fresh. So there's a new app insights, new service plan. storage account. Resource not found. That is discouraging. Okay. Let me double check my configuration here for parameters, Twitch stream notifications, Twitch stream notify KV. Make sure that my KV is still around. Resource groups. Twitch stream notify KV. Twitch stream notify KV. Just make sure I copy paste these into here again. So resource group, and then vault name. Doesn't look like that changed anything, so it's saying that some resource doesn't exist. So I'm gonna have to try deploying this locally. This is not good, like all my modules are screwed up in PowerShell. That's not good. PS module path looks good. Okay. What? Local, yes. It looks like my user modules folder is missing. My PS module path. Is it environment or is it path? I think it's path. Path separator. And then get my what? This is so weird. Is it working now, I guess? Whatever. It's weird. I wonder why my PS module path is missing my user modules. I'm going to try deploying this from my machine, seeing if I can get some more useful error messages out of this, because Twitch client redirect URI. Oh. I don't have that one as a secret in my key vault. That's what's missing. So let me add that to my key vault. I'm gonna add it off screen. Not that it's entirely secret. Um, just to be safe and not to accidentally show some kind of secret on the screen. Uh, so now I've got that added. See if there are some other useful errors. All right, so go back to Firefox here and we'll try redeploying. Just skip the formalities. Approve, approve. While that's deploying, I'm going to take a quick break and I'll be right back. All right, so it's still deploying the Azure resources. Let's see if we got any further on this. Well, yeah, it's got the actual app function in there now. The function app is there, that's good. There's a little bit more, almost there. Success on the Azure deployment front. So now it's got to deploy some queues. We have to suffer through the long startup of the thing. So while that's getting up here, I'll just get the so right now we have no queues, and by the time this ends, there should be a few queues added, and then there should be one table. So we'll also look, there should be no table, no table. It's added queues and a table. So if I refresh the queues, there's the queues, there's the table. So while that is kind of playing around there, I'm going to go back into VS Code and refresh the functions in here so that I can turn on log streaming on this. So the app deployment finished. So in theory that the app is available. So we'll go back into here and we'll go into here and just thinking about it. So right now the app won't work because the app doesn't have permissions to the key vault. At least it shouldn't. So I do need to give permissions in the key vault to the app. Just give me this Twitch stream notifications. Oh, come on, Twitch stream notifications. Select seek permissions, get list. Okay. Save. So that works. Now we can go back in here. Want to make sure that log streaming is running on here. It's still going strong. Give myself some more real estate there. Go back to Firefox and let's stop and start the function. I haven't tested it fully, but I believe that it only gets the referenced secrets at startup. So I don't believe you can like change them live or fix permissions live and it start working. So I believe you have to stop and start it. It disconnected me from log services when that happened. So we'll connect back. So there's a host lock lease, but I missed all the startup information, which is sad. I'd really like to have seen that. But what we'll do is we'll come back here and we'll do this. I get a 200 OK. And it went through and it did everything. Notifications are disabled, so everything should be working on the primary one. See, hold on, not showing the screen here. So yeah, I basically ran the this here, and it ran through the entire gamut of would have notified had I not had notifications disabled. They're currently disabled. While I was testing this just to be sure. So let me do an example callback just to verify that this works. I need to change this back to Twitch stream notifications. And I got a 200 response there, and it gave me the information. So I'm fairly certain that worked. The next thing that I need to do is check the configuration as code on this. So we have this build here for the subscription one. I'm going to queue this. It's good that this is going to still get the the secret from the key vault, even though I moved the key vault to a different resource group. And this failed. Failed on it. 401 unauthorized. Oh yes. So you'll have to look over here. I have to update the function code on this because the function code changed when I did this. So Twitch, you'll have to watch this screen while I'm grabbing a secret here. Again, I apologize for keeping you off of seeing all the good secrets. I know that you want to get in here and screw with all my secrets. But too bad. Almost there. All right, we can go back here now and back to this. Go to here, queue it again, start it. So this uses this pulls a function code in that I'm storing in the key vault, and because I've basically deleted the app and recreated it, the function code has changed. So obviously I can't reuse that function code. So I needed to update that in my key vault with the new function code, and then that should fix this. And it looks like it did. And this is a really good sign that this worked because it was able to pull the current subscriptions and verify them. So that means that my Twitch API access is working properly in it. So it should be good. So this means that production is now running off of the infrastructure as code, and I've got a full CI/CD pipeline for the infrastructure as code and the storage queues and tables. Everything's nice and idempotent, so I should be able to run that again, and I'm going to test that just to be absolutely sure. So we're going to run another build of this. What? Build pipeline canceled. What is going on with that? The pipeline is not valid. Could not get the latest version of Git repo. Okay. Um, Let me edit this. Git sources. Uh, Master. Thank you very much. Uh, Save NQ. That's fun. All right. I had it still pointing to the infrastructure as code repo. I mean branch. While that's running, I'm going to look at the platform features and the deployment center. See, it showed that previous deployment there. Building the app, uploading the files. Hooray. Release. This is waiting on my approval. Ship it idempotently. And if everything is good, I should be able to then queue up my subscription build again, and it should work fine. That'll be a good test of this. And if that works, the next phase is for me to enable notifications again, which means that I have to make an update to the code and submit it in now, instead of doing it in the console, which is, maybe a little less easy, but a little more resilient. So I guess while that's going there, I'm going to come in here. We're going to go onto master. Then we're going to pull in the changes. Then we're going to go into the files, actually create a new one here, and feature. So this one's actually going to be IAC. So I use IAC for infrastructure as code, CAC for configuration as code, and feature for anything that's related to the actual source code of the app. So for IAC, we're going to do IAC enable notifications. Create the branch. Didn't let me do it. IAC enable notifications. So the file that we need to change is the Azure deploy JSON. We need to look up disable notifications and change that to false. And it is a string. It's not a bool. So we've changed that. We're going to do this. We'll get this all nice and ready. Push that up to the cloud. We'll go back and check on the deployment. The Azure deployment phase completed, the storage completed. It's doing the app now. And this should say that they already existed. Yeah, already exist, already exist, already exist. That's good. Successfully deployed web app. So that's good. We'll go into builds and we'll run the subscription one again, since that will be a good test of whether or not it idempotently deployed. Looks like it worked. So that's good. So now I'm ready to enable the notifications, so I'm not freaked out that something will happen. So we'll come in here, go to pull requests. Should say that I've got to create a new one for this branch. I'm enabling notifications. This is the only change I've made. I basically changed true to false. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. So we're merging into master, and just go ahead and do this. I'm Mark Kraus and I approve these changes. Complete. So ideally what I should have on changes to the either the parameters file or the Azure deploy, I should have a validate build that runs on PRs to ensure that they're okay, and that I've not like majorly messed them up, but we're not going to worry about that. So we've merged this in. So if we go to builds, this one is now firing off a new build of this. And if this works, then the notifications will be turned on again, and we'll be back live and in production. So move on to releases here. All right, so now it's going to do some deployment. The Azure deployment is the one of real interest here because we're actually making a change in Azure through the ARM template. And what should change is in here, in the app settings, the disable notifications should change to false. So that succeeded. Let's refresh my app here. I'm just going to refresh this entire page because I'm not sure that it's going to have live data. I'm also going to be trying to look at this while it's doing the app deployment, which is dangerous, but that's been changed to false, so we're good there. Storage deployment is underway. All the queues and tables already exist, so we're good there. Now it's on to the app deployment. So I really recommend to get started with Azure DevOps just following the quick start guide that they have for build and release pipelines. It's a very simple hello world, um, but it's kind of a heavy topic, right? So all a build and release pipeline is automation that's triggered by various things, right? So um, what you do in it and how is really up to your imagination. So what you're going to be building, what you're going to be deploying, what you even consider a build and a deployment, all those kinds of things are like um, really relative to the kinds of technologies you're working at. Um, so like if you're going to be building PowerShell modules, for example, there's some blog uh, articles out there. I think Chris has one, but I'm not sure if he wrote one yet. I don't know, but there's some good ones out there for the PowerShell Azure DevOps ones. I think Kevin Marquette actually has one on it too. But yeah, so it's going to be rough because what you're doing inside the automation is really domain specific almost, and it's just about like digging through all of it. But if you follow the hello world and just start adding to it, like just add steps, like look at the available options that you can do for build steps, and see if you can figure out what they're doing. Play around with them. If you've got an Azure account, you can do some pretty superficial Azure things. Create like get those quick start templates they have for everything, and copy those in the parameter files and try deploying them um, using just the build steps that are available. So like just store them and like create an empty repo, grab the Azure deploy and the Azure deploy parameters JSON files, and try to deploy them and see what happens. That's uh, I really I really learned by just playing around with it and then having specific goals, like specific things I wanted to do, and then doing it. But a lot of what I learned was actually in AppVeyor and Travis CI doing the PowerShell uh, core project. So uh, I had a pretty firm grasp on CI and what you do in there before coming into Azure DevOps, so it's not really easy for me to say. And playing around with AppVeyor was mostly motivated by doing, you know, module deployments to the PowerShell gallery. So it's a long-winded answer there of where to start. But yeah, there's a good quick start on the docs.microsoft.com for it, and that's probably your best bet to start, and then just play from there. Okay, so everything deployed here. So again, I'm going to use my subscription one as a test because it's got a pretty decent, it's pretty decently complex. So if it works, then I'm fairly satisfied. Yeah, unfortunately, like really, if you want to get into build and release pipelines, uh, just learning about what they are and what they do in general, like not even a specific one. Like it doesn't even matter if you're using Jenkins or if you're using AppVeyor. They're all like specific. Like if we're talking about programming terms, right? They're instances of a class, and the class is CI, so continuous integration. And really, what that really boils down to is like it's automation. So it's automation with triggers usually based around code. Um, so, so everything looks like it's working. We should be live. Uh, of course, the only way for me to really test this would be to go offline and come back on again. Um, so I'm actually going to do that just to see, because I don't always test, but when I do it in production, and that's the I don't have a good way to do like true integration testing on this without actually sending it. It's something to definitely look at the to-do list. So I'm going to start log streaming on this again, and then I'm going to, you can see that it's now on a different commit hash. That's kind of cool. Uh, right, so I've got this fired up. I'm going to stop my stream, and then I'll be back on in a few minutes, and hopefully we'll get some notifications going out. So goodbye for a couple of minutes.